Let's check tape on this Georgia defense. They're going to be pretty much kind of like a base nickel look. They'll line up in a three-man front, but I think they're always going to bring four. So they'll line up in a three-man front with two linebackers, one linebacker. One of those linebackers is coming almost every single time. Sometimes you'll see it from the secondary and the backers will drop into zone. Similar look to what led to Texas's first turnover in October. You got a little cornerback blitz. Nobody saw it. Quinn Ewers gets absolutely earhole, drops the ball, and let the games begin for that Georgia defense and that short field Georgia offense. They're going to be really exotic with their blitzes and coverages behind it, and they'll play almost every kind of coverage. They'll play man, they'll play cover two, they'll have man free looks with a single high, man free looks with a two high, three high look. They'll go into quarters, it looks like a little bit, cover three, and then they'll run some combo coverages where they'll be man on one side of the field, zone on the other side of the field. Really intricate, exotic sort of defense. And I think that's why it's so hard to play against them. I mean, the quarterback has to do well, not just the quarterback, everybody has to do a good job of understanding what is going to happen, what types of pressure is coming, where it's coming from. And for the quarterback, that means a lot of film study. One, this is one of those games. You're going to beat Georgia. You need to be mentally prepared up front and the quarterback for sure. And you got to recognize it quick, and then you got to make the right decision and get the ball out. And I mean, it's just not a lot of time to do all those things during a play. We talked about it earlier. We'll talk about it again. I've talked about it on shows this week. We talked about it last night on the live stream with the friends over at SEC Unfiltered. We had Cole and Chris. You can find that under the live tab on the YouTube channel. Check that out. We had a good time. It was a blast. We just didn't run the ball enough against Georgia. We gave up on it way too quickly. And we didn't run it downhill. To me, handing it off going sideways against this Georgia defense just is not going to work ever. You might get lucky and bust one every one, but consistently it's not going to happen. The best way to attack this defense is to get the ball to the line of scrimmage, going downhill really quickly. And here we'll see how vulnerable this Georgia team can be against the run when you do those. We're going to have an offset eye look in the shotgun, and they just kind of run an old power screen right at an 8 in the box set. Watch this nice combo block on the left side, the left guard, the left tackle. Just watch this play unfold. And they just get right up the field, quick, boom, find a crease, and they're gone for a touchdown. Now, that's something that Texas has done really well the last couple of weeks in SEC play, is getting the ball downhill, the running back just taking what's there, finding a crease and going. There's not going to be a lot of opportunity to dance around and beat people in the backfield to try to make big plays in this game. And I hope that that's the mindset this running back group for Texas as they head into this. You just got to take what you can get. Here we're going to see Georgia in a three high safety look. You see them all back there right around the stick. Chandler's going to fall back in his zone. He's playing that outside linebacker position at the bottom of the screen. And you're going to see CJ Allen in the middle. He's coming. You're going to see CJ Allen come a lot in this little group of clips I've got. It looks like to me they're man coverage to the boundary, and then there's going to be a zone to the field side. You're going to see Ole Miss just kind of leak the back out into the flat. If they bring 5 guys, that's the read. If they only bring 4, you got 5 on 4, so you got time to survey the field. That's exactly what Dart does. He gets a little pressure and he hits the little check down, and they pick up a nice little gain. The late pressure right there. I think when you're playing a team like this defensively, the key is to just keep making positive plays. You can't afford to get real far behind in the sticks. You can't afford penalties that set you back. Like, you have to just continue to make positive plays and pick your spots to try to make big plays. Here we're going to have a 3-down lineman look, real high, 2 high safety look. CJ Allen's coming. He's going to come to make it 4. They're going to play zone behind it and protect those sticks. Dart sees a mismatch right off. He's got a tight end against Jalen Walker. Jalen Walker's an outstanding athlete, but he's not covering a tight end. He delivers a really nice, on-time, accurate pass. Watch the slot. Just a little out. He's open, gets up the field, picks up a first down. Again, just nothing fancy. Identifying the mismatch, because there will be some. This Georgia defense is going to they're going to gamble to try to confuse you. And when they gamble, there's going to be weakness. You have to be able to tell where that weakness is and attack it. And that's it. That's the only way to beat them. We're going to have a traditional nickel look here with dime personnel. There's 2 high safeties, but right there on the bottom of the screen on the edge, what you think is that as a 4th defensive line, that's a safety. And again, we're man to the boundary, cover 2 to the field. You're going to see number 9 drop into some zone off this look. You're going to see another linebacker join the 3-down lineman look to get into it, to make it 4 rushers. Dart's going to have time. He's going to deliver a nice ball in between that cover 2. Pick up a nice big gain. Here we go. There's the blitz. He's seeing the field. He drops it right in there in that zone. Cover 2, there's going to be a guy playing shallow-ish. He's got that flat, and then you're going to have a safety over the top, and there's always space to get behind that. It's timing and protection. We're going to have another nickel look with 2 high safeties. This time it looks to me like a man under look. So you've got a lot of man coverage at the line of scrimmage, but you got those 2 safeties over the top that are free. Georgia's going to rush 4. Dart's going to take his time. He's going to get time. He's going to find an open man in the middle of the field for a nice chunk play. Watch it open up. There it is. This is nothing. I mean, all Dart's doing is having time. And this is something Quinn Ewers absolutely did not have in game 1. They're going to gamble. And if you can make them pay for the gamble and you can find the weakness of the defense, man, you can move the ball pretty well on this Georgia defense. Here we're going to have a nickel look, but you got Jalen Walker lined up on the slot at the top of the screen there. To me, it's a 2 high look that turns into a cover 3 look. They rush 4, they flush Dart with those 4, and they stop him for a short gain. So here's just kind of a look at the pass rush with just 4, man. Just how relentless and squeezy, and just like there ain't no place to go. And you got to credit the defensive backs. The defensive backs definitely held serve on that one, because that was more of a coverage deal than just immediate and immense pressure like we saw against Texas. But both work. And that defensive line just keeps working, and they make a play. Here we're going to have a nickel look. 2 high safeties again. They're going to bring a linebacker. You see him right there at the snap. They make it 5-on-5. So they bring 4. They're bringing the linebacker. They're going to play cover 3 behind it, and they're just going to get some really quick pressure here. And they're going to pick up a sack. Just look at the games. Look at the relentless nature of that pass rush. They're tough. If you can't block them, that right there looked like what Quinn Ewers dealt with on almost every single play in Austin. Here we're going to have another 3-down look, 2 high safeties. They're going to show pressure. You get the 3-down lineman with the linebacker blitz look. And then to me, it looks almost like quarters coverage behind it. You're going to see those cornerbacks. They're just going to kind of bail along with the safeties. Dart's going to try to fit one in between the zones. The throw's just going to be a little too. He's going to try to get it over that underneath zone and in front of the deep zone. It's just a little too high. We're going to get picked off. Everybody bailing. So they were ready for that. They were protecting the sticks right there. And I would call that quarters. I think that's cover 4. I mean, I think that's what they ran just there. I don't. Football's changed a lot since I was in high school and college and paid attention to all this stuff. So it may be called something completely different, but I think that was quarters coverage. They were basically backing up and they're protecting the sticks. Obviously, not going to let anything in their zone get deeper than them. Here we got some dime personnel with 3 defensive linemen showing pressure. Both the linebackers blitz. But what's weird about this play, and I don't know if there's just some miscommunication. They both kind of go to the same spot, and it leaves the left side of the line of scrimmage pretty empty from a Georgia perspective. You're going to see that cornerback at the top. He's going to settle a little bit, but still not enough. They're going to drop into zone behind this. Dart's going to recognize it, just kind of get out of the pocket, get a nice little pickup. That might have actually been man. You saw the safety come up. Sometimes it's hard to see everything with this side view, this condensed look. Here we're going to have nickel personnel again with 3 down linemen. They're going to show pressure pre-snap. The safety's up near the line of scrimmage. He's going to bail pre-snap. They're going to bring 5, play zone behind it. And watch the back coming out of the backfield. This is something that Texas almost hit on. We had a drop. I mean, almost the exact same play. We had the drop, though, instead of Georgia being in the way and having the drop. The guy was wide open, just got tipped a little bit at the line of scrimmage. That was a big game-changing play, I think. I mean, that's a play. Trey Wisner is probably, I mean, if he doesn't score, he's definitely getting inside the 10-yard line on that play. And it just hit him in the hands and he dropped it. And he's otherwise very, very good with his hands. Here we're going to have nickel look at, but now he got Chambliss at the top of the screen over the slot. So these guys are versatile and they'll line them up in all kinds of places. And it allows them to throw a lot of different looks at the offense without ever having to change personnel. They're going to be in 2 high safeties again. They're going to bring the linebacker. This time the nickelback's coming. You'll see him right down there on the slot at the bottom. So they bring 5. They're in zone behind it. Watch the middle of the field open up here again. If you can protect it, there it is. There it is. You bring all that pressure from those guys at the line of scrimmage. If you can protect it, and it doesn't take long, man, there will be a ton of room in the middle of the field. What they're banking on when they do that is we're either going to get to the quarterback before he can find an open man, or he's just going to throw it up down the field. Because you see that a lot. When you see pressure like that, you think man coverage. And so, one of the first things a quarterback learns in high school is if you see a big pressure look, you probably got man. Find the matchup you want and throw it there. Well, Georgia's saying, go ahead. I got all my guys drop back into zone. We'll go pick it off. That's the gamble. But it all starts up front with protecting it. So Texas is going to have to do a really good job protecting whatever comes this week, and we don't know what that's going to be. And I think we'll see. We'll get into that in a minute. Here's something they did a lot against Texas. You're going to see a 50 front, which is old school 5-2 look. I mean, call it what you want to call it. It's 3 down linemen, 2 edge guys, and the 2 linebackers in the middle. We ran this in high school, and we wore people's asses out with it. Almost everybody. You're going to have your 2 deep safeties, and Ole Miss just going to get a hat on a hat, and they're going to pick up good yardage on 3rd and 1. And again, I don't think your run game has to be fancy ever. I certainly don't think it has to be fancy against Georgia. Just get a hat on a hat, hit it quick. Maybe a little wildcat action like we see here. Maybe a little Arch Manning package like we saw last week against Texas A&M. Big Puig or however you say it. He's just going to take the direct snap, pick up a nice little chunk. That's a pretty nimble dude for that size.